Warranty has expired. A product you bought fails, develops a fault, or just does not do what it's supposed to do and is just out of warranty. So you throw it away, buy a new one because it's going to cost you more to get it repaired than the cost of the new one. This is sometimes called planned obsolescence. But you have consumer law on your side. If you carefully read the warranty documents that come with products, it should have wording that says, our goods come with guarantees that cannot be excluded under the Australian consumer law. You are entitled to a replacement or refund for a major failure and compensation for any other reasonable foreseeable loss of damage. You are also entitled to have the goods repaired or replaced if the good fails to be of acceptable quality and the failure does not amount to a major failure. That document is what's sometimes called a statutory warranty. That is the warranty that Australian legal system gives all consumers. Usually, the manufacturer's warranty documents, as distinct from these statutory warranties, then go on to list a whole lot of exclusions and specifically says that there is a time limit of the warranty, perhaps 1, 2, 3 years or whatever. No time limit on a statutory warranty. If you read the material on the Australian Competition Consumer, the ACCC website in relation to the Australian consumer law, you will see that there is no time limit on statutory warranties. Rather, the Australian consumer law says the consumer's rights continue for a reasonable time depending on the product or service. Now, in a pop-up in the ACCC website, reasonable is defined as what most people would think is fair in the circumstances. What I think is fair. My take on what I feel is fair is based on my past experience. If I previously had a product that lasted a certain time without being informed otherwise, I'd expect a new product to last the same time, same length of time, perhaps with a bit of an adjustment because of planned obsolescence. If my toaster lasted 20 years, I would expect a new toaster to last at least 15 years. I never ask salespeople how long a product will last because inevitably it will be less time than my expectations. If a salesperson does tell you how long a product will last, then you cannot make a legal claim under the Australian consumer law if it has lasted longer than that time. That's why you should not ask. Retailers' reasonable time. Whenever, in the numerous situations I have made claims under statutory warranties, I express how long I feel the product should have lasted. The retailers always revert to the manufacturer's warranty time limit, inferring that is a reasonable time. But my argument is that if I had known the product would only last for the manufacturer's warranty time, I would have never have bought it. Many products only have a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, yet I expect them to last a lot longer than 1 year, as most people would. Remember, the text on the ACCC website specifically states what most people would think is fair in the circumstances. Been law since 2011. Australian consumer law has been in place since 2011, at least 2011. Yet most people do not know it exists. Many retail employees do not know that it exists and will use the defence against the statutory warranty that the product is out of warranty when in fact it is not. 3 no's before a yes. Because I know my consumer rights and use them, I most likely make more statutory warranty claims than the average person. In making claims, I've found that many retailers will deny claims 3 times before they accept it, yet legally they are not allowed to do that. Once again, from the ACCC website, it is unlawful for businesses to mislead consumers about their rights. I get the impression that a number of businesses do a risk assessment and decide that the chance of them being fined for infringing Australian consumer law is worth the risk. Only deal with the retailer. In some situations, a retailer will say because it is a manufacturer's warranty, you have to return the goods to the manufacturer, or they have to return it to the manufacturer for assessment of repair. Other than you don't have a contract with the manufacturer, it is the retailer that has to provide the statutory warranty, although the retailer has the right to assess if a product is faulty. They have to do this within a reasonable amount of time. If they don't do it, so it's regarded as a major fault, in which case you're entitled to a refund or a replacement. Extended warranties. Considering what were previously covered, you may want to consider what the benefits may be of extended warranties. The ACCC state on their website that you should ask retailers, what benefit would I get from an extended warranty? That has to be paid for, that I would not get from a statutory warranty that costs nothing extra. There is no need for extended warranties. If you read carefully the wording of extended warranties, you will see that they only apply after the manufacturer's warranty has already expired, and then only apply until you make a claim, after which it comes to an end. You have to then buy an additional or another extended warranty. They're basically not a warranty, but an insurance policy that expires when a claim is made. Some of my experiences. MSY Technologies, a laptop that was 4 years old. I had a laptop that was about 4 years old that the power supply failed. I took it back to MSY and asked that the power supply be replaced under the statutory warranty. The person said it was out of warranty, which I said, I'm not claiming under the manufacturer's warranty, I'm claiming under the statutory warranty. She said, what is that? I explained it to her. She went and discussed it with somebody else and came back and said they will be arranging to get another power supply, which I later got at no cost to me. Probably happened because MSY had previously been fined multiple times by the ACCC for misleading customers. Kogan e-bike. Whilst outside the Kogan warranty, a crack developed in the steering stem of my e-bike. Initially, Kogan said it was not covered under warranty. I said I was claiming under the statutory warranty. Kogan said it was fair wear and tear, to which I said my previous bike was over 70 years old, so I expected this new bike to last at least 20 years, and in addition, it was a safety issue. Kogan then paid for the repair. The repair failed, and Kogan again said the same thing they previously said. I repeated what I had previously said, and another Kogan person sent me a replacement bike. That bike, electrics failed, and Kogan sent me a third bike. After a few months, its battery had reduced to about 10% of its initial range. Yet Kogan stated the bike was not under warranty and that because it had been replaced, they had relinquished their consumer protection responsibilities. Went back and forth a few times and they eventually sent me a new battery. That battery eventually failed completely, no power at all. By this time, they knew who they were dealing with. They said they did not have a replacement battery, but would give me a refund less the cost of a previous supplied parts and repairs. I said no. They eventually offered me a full refund. As I wanted to keep the bike, I said I wanted it repaired. They sent someone out to check it, and that person arrived with a replacement battery. Interesting, even though they said they didn't have any batteries. The steering stem cracked again, third time. Then the pack rat snapped off. I got them repaired myself and claimed for the repair on Kogan. At this point in time, the matter is still open. Since then, the pack rack is broken at a different place, and I've got it just recently repaired again. I had suggested Kogan that a safety recoil should be put on that model bike. They disagreed. Local mechanic car battery. As part of a service, my local mechanic, at my request, put a new battery in our car. After about 2.5 years, the battery failed. Fortunately, I was able to temporarily use another battery I had for our caravan. I asked the mechanic how long the battery usually lasts, because my previous one had lasted well beyond 2 years. He said between 6 months and 5 years, but the manufacturer's warranty was only 2 years. Based on that, I asked him for a new battery. He contacted the manufacturer and they supplied a new battery at no cost to me. Apparently, battery manufacturers have or used to have pro rata warranties. That is pro rata. There is no pro rata in the statutory warranty. In the case of failure, you are entitled to a full replacement or refund. 3 Mobile. Not quite a warranty issue, but similar. Quite some time ago, I had a contract with 3 Mobile to use a certain amount of mobile data per month. Just before the end of the monthly period, or then what had not been used before it expired. But when receiving the monthly bill, I would often get charged for excess data usage. 3 stated their usage meter was up to 4 days behind, and that's why I was getting the extra charges. I refused to pay the excess and asked them to reverse those charges. They would initially say no. I would again ask them to reverse the charges. They would then offer to have the excess charges halved, which I again said no to. Then I would say I would take it to the Communications Industry Ombudsman. They then reversed those charges completely. This happened practically every month for 18 months. Officeworks tablet computer. About 5 years ago, I bought an inexpensive 5-inch tablet from Officeworks. A few years later, it failed. Even though it was out of manufacturer's warranty, they gave me a full refund. I used the refund money to purchase a 10-inch tablet. After about 3 years, it failed. Based on my investigation on the internet, a tablet computer should last about 5 years. Based on that and my previous experience, I asked for a refund or replacement. But the people at Officeworks stated that because they were not technical people, they would have to send the tablet back to the manufacturer for it to be assessed as to what the problem was. That was going to take between 4 and 6 weeks. As I knew the legislation, I stated that that was an unreasonable time for an assessment, and in that case, that would mean it's a major failure, which means that I was entitled to a refund or a replacement. They disagreed. As I was dealing with the store manager, I asked what was the next level of authority, and they gave me a number to ring. I rang that number, and the person agreed that 4 weeks was a long period, but said I should go back to the store. In the meantime, the store rang me and said they would give me a full refund, which I got. Bunnings electric ride-on mower. About 4.5 years ago, I bought an electric ride-on mower from Bunnings. Recently, it stopped working, and with some investigation, I discovered that it was one of the 4 lead-acid batteries that had failed. I took the battery back to Bunnings and asked for a replacement. As the mower only had a 3-year warranty, they said it was out of warranty. Per usual, I said I'm claiming on the statutory warranty. And as per usual, they said, what is that? In the meantime, they had rung the manufacturer, and the manufacturer said it was out of warranty and they could not offer anything. They asked me to speak to the manufacturer, which I refused, as I said I don't have a contract with the manufacturer and it's up to Bunnings to supply the statutory warranty. Eventually, someone of a high authority at Bunnings arrived. I asked her if she knew what about the statutory warranty, which she said she did. but she said because it was a battery, it would not be covered under warranty as in the situation with car batteries. As I have often had to say in these situations, I was not claiming under the manufacturer's warranty, but the statutory warranty, which has no restrictions about batteries. Also, that being an electric mower, that without the battery it would not work at all and therefore it was not fit for purpose, that being to mow grass. I also stated that because my previous mower had lasted 10 years, I expected this one to last 10 years. She said they will supply a new battery this time only as a gesture of goodwill. I asked her if she was trained to use those words, as other organisations I had dealt with had also used the term gesture of goodwill. She said she would not comment about that. I said I will accept the replacement battery as Bunnings meeting their obligations under the Australian consumer law, but not as a gesture of goodwill. What I did not say is that I'll be going back when the other batteries fail if it's less than 10 years. Making a claim, statutory warranty under Australian consumer law. Fortunately, I am retired and have the time to follow up on these things. I appreciate that many people don't have the time or could not be bothered going through what I go through. The Choice magazine on their website have some very good articles about consumer law, and it includes some templates for telephone conversations or emails when dealing with people in relation to these issues. The ACCC cannot help you, but the ACCC site explains what they do and don't do. One of the things that they don't do is, and this is a quote from them, we don't resolve individual disputes about whether the consumer guarantees have been met or the remedy. But it's well worthwhile referring to the ACCC when you're having difficulty getting an organisation to meet their legal requirements. And even though they can't help you with individual disputes, it is also worthwhile letting them know that an organisation is infringing consumer rights so they can accumulate evidence to be able to take court action and fine some of these organisations. In the past, multi-million-dollar fines have been made against some organisations like Telstra and possibly in the future one for Qantas. Why I made this? I don't particularly like planned obsolescence. Organisations deliberately make things so that they break down and are unusable, simply so they can sell more product. It is a waste of valuable resources. One of the benefits of Australian consumer law is that it reduces this happening, but only if people know about it and use the Australian consumer law. Summary. 1. If a product fails, ignore manufacturers and retail warranties and time limits, as they give you less than Australian consumer law. 2. Don't buy an extended warranty unless it gives you more than is provided in Australian consumer law. 3. Unless you have been told otherwise, when you bought it, the product should last as long as you expect it to. 4. Take the product back to who you bought it from and ask for a refund, replacement or repair. 5. If they refuse, refer to Australian consumer law, mention the ACCC and ask a second and if necessary a third time. Don't accept pro ratas or gestures of goodwill. 6. If they refuse, report them to the ACCC. If you have any questions about any of this, contact me by writing a comment or at my email address. None of this should be regarded as legal advice.